Welcome back.
Welcome to the Real Talk Miami. I'm Luis Perez. To my left, I have Jasmine Mousset. We're two real estate professionals here in Miami, Florida, the Sunshine State. And as you guys can tell, we are in a new facility. It's a nucleus hub here in Coconut Grove, an amazing location.
Very nice. Very spacious.
Very spacious, and I believe it's going to give us a lot more opportunities to bring you guys a lot of special guests. It's a really big network, an expansive one, and I'm very excited. I don't know about you.
I'm super excited. I think, like Louis said, a lot of great opportunities. We'll be bringing with us this season a lot of different people, professionals,
Yep.
like we say in our intro, from all walks of life. And so that's really exciting. But aside from this, I think this whole season is going to be a lot. It's going to be tailored on what you guys want to hear. So we've been talking to you guys, polling what is it that you find is more relevant to your circumstances nowadays. So I think that's what today's going to be all about.
Absolutely. Yeah, so without further ado, I want to get it into the market, what's been going on this year, 2025. We're 8 months into the year, and we only have basically 4 months until the year is over. So it's been a wild ride. If I had to sum it up, I would pretty much say that it was a roller coaster. We had sort of a mix of things, high interest rates. The last I checked yesterday, I think it was at 6.56, and prices have remained somewhat stable, I would say. I wouldn't say this is a buyer's market nor a seller's market. I would say it's more of a balanced market, because I work with a lot of buyers, and a lot of them are just kind of waiting to see what happens, and we don't really see that much happening.
I mean, if we look on an inventory level perspective, like if we look at the numbers, it's definitely more in favor of buyers. Inventory has significantly increased from last year. I mean, I tell this to all agents at the office, and I'm referring to agents that just start the industry,
Yeah.
so they don't really have a comparison level from last year. But last year, I remember it being under 3,000. If you looked on Miami,
It got to like 1,700 at one point,
1,700?
single family homes.
And then little by little, it started to increase, but very slowly, very gradually.
Yeah.
So it's very cool to see the transition. So had they been here last year, had they been active, they would have seen that when you put active, Miami-Dade County, single family homes, we're talking, under 3,000. And now what you get is 5,000 plus.
Yeah.
So in terms of inventory, definitely it's in favor. It signals that we're in a buyer's market, but more and more we hear on the streets, no, I'm waiting to buy. No, interest rates are too high. No, prices are too high. No, the economy is not where I want it to be. And a lot of people move based on how their pockets feel.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it's really nobody's market, but we do have interesting stats.
Yeah, I think we should pull up the stats and then talk about each of these. All right.
So here we have South Florida, June 2025.
So keep in mind that the Miami Board of Realtors, they release statistics. So currently we're in August, so it's always 2 months behind, but it's a pretty accurate depiction of what's going on in the market right now. We're going to focus right now on single family homes. So Louis, take it away with closed sales.
Yeah, so as you can see, this same time around last year, there's been a change year over year of negative 7%. So there's been less closed sales, but I wouldn't say that this is that significant of a difference. I mean, what is it? A little over 68? Yeah, like 68. About the same percentage closed in cash. I mean, I would say that the market is somewhat not that different. I mean, for at least last month.
I mean, for me, the numbers that really stand out, if you can go down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they have inventory here, active inventory. So let's
monthly supply.
Drastic difference.
Yeah.
I wish I could circle this, but if we can see June 2025, so we're talking this year, 5,669 homes available on the market. In comparison to last year, we're talking about a 44.3% increase in active homes available. So that to me is a significant number. And then when we talk about
the time in the market,
medium time to sales, so how long did it take for that property to actually go off market to actually close the transaction? we're talking a difference of 23.2%. So last year, homes were taking an average of 69 days
Yeah,
to close. Now we're talking about 85. So more
it's
and
a clear
more,
slowdown.
very slow. And I have a feeling that this trend is going to continue to go upwards into the end of the year.
Yeah, I expect it to as well. I don't see the market. I don't see people really taking that much action, especially now that we're entering the fall, and then next comes winter.
Holidays come around.
Yeah, usually those are slower times. So I think that for the most part, people who have been holding off, they're probably going to continue to hold off until the start of next year.
And I think typically, and we see this in statistics. Typically, you'll see most home buyers generate activity during the summer months when kids are out of school.
Yeah.
So they're looking to buy or move their family when kids are not in school. But now kids just started actually yesterday in Miami-Dade County. Fort Lauderdale started, or Broward County. Kids went back to school on Wednesday. So I have a feeling that if it's been trending kind of slow, it's only going to go downwards here on after. We got the holidays, like you said, a lot of spending, a lot of investing. So I don't see things picking up until next year, maybe January, February.
Yeah. That's usually how it happens. Around January, February is when the most active time of the year is usually the spring. It's usually the spring.
Yeah, springtime towards summertime.
Yeah.
Summertime. Now, even though there's not so much movement in locally, there's a lot of movement nationally and a lot of movement internationally. So I think that's important to keep in mind.
Absolutely.
Which is causing a lot of people in Miami-Dade County to move to other counties up north. So I think we should pull up the article on international movement to Miami. Miami is attracting a lot of foreign investors, especially in the new construction condo market. Do we have that article pulled up?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and pull that up.
Right over here.
All right.
There's
So
an ad here. Oh, 1 second.
I don't think it's allowing us technical difficulty, guys. But, there it is. All right, perfect. So as the article says, let's flip it the other way. Yeah. As the article says, it's not allowing. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. As with everything technical difficulties, we're going to get that figured out. But as the article is saying, a lot of movement from other countries into the United States. They're looking for a place to reside a few months at a time when they come here on vacation with their family. And so the best option for them sometimes is the new construction market, especially these condominiums or high rises in the Miami Beach, Brickell area. They want a place that's very close to nightlife, restaurants, shopping centers, the beach. What are your thoughts on this, Louis?
Yeah, I mean, last year I had the privilege of representing some people. I had a friend of mine, well, not a friend of mine, but he's a friend now, Axel. Axel, he bought a property here in Miami Beach, and it was for those exact same reasons. He wanted to have a second home, a vacation home, so he probably visits it like 2 or 3 times out of the year. He bought that property cash, and now he actually messaged me not too long ago, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago, that he was considering selling in order to downsize into a smaller one in the same exact building that I sold him that property. Because things didn't work out exactly as it was planned. His kids aren't really using the property as much as he expected to, the grandchildren. And so he figures, I might as well just get something smaller, have more money on my side, because, I mean, the maintenance in that building is pretty high. It's like $3,000 a month just on maintenance. So he figures, it's going to be sitting empty for most of the year. I mean, I might as well get something smaller. But, I mean, that's one example. I mean, I think in our office as well, we have some interesting activity going on as well. We have people from Guatemala who want to sell properties and buy something here in Miami.
A lot of movement in countries like Mexico,
Mexico's
Argentina, with international or with these Latin American countries. Really what you'll see is some of them are going through a crisis, whether economically or whether it be politically. Those are the people that are looking to invest more so than others, invest in the United States. Miami is a melting pot, to say
Yeah.
the least. A lot of different cultures, people from all over the world. So they feel naturally gravitated towards Miami.
Yeah.
And other reasons. But on the contrary, there are other Latin American countries that aren't going through those situations. So they're actually acquiring people from the United States, funny enough, to invest over there, more so as a retirement plan. So you get the best of both worlds. But again, a lot of these people that, educated professionals have their businesses in countries that are going through an economic or political crisis, those are the ones funneling money to Miami. They're
Yeah.
moving, and I think whether we like to admit it or not, they're contributing to the increase in prices and kind of pushing out locals.
Yeah, somewhat. You have the Latin America. Let's not just say Latin America. We could say other parts of the world as well. You have people from within the states as well, like New York, Arizona, California, Texas. I had someone from Texas as well. I even have, this lady's actually selling, but she's from Connecticut. But yeah, it's coming from all different angles. I mean, Miami just became I want to see the melting pot for people all over the world. They want to be close to the beach. They like the lifestyle here. I mean, you go outside and you walk, let's say, the streets of Coral Gables or something, I don't know, Coconut Grove, anywhere you go, you're going to come across at least 100 different ethnicities, 100 different people. It's an amazing place to be. I mean, and the lifestyle here is great. If you like the nightlife, there's nightlife. If you don't like the nightlife, just stay in the suburbs. You can't go wrong anywhere in Miami.
Well, now that you mentioned different states, I was reading an article that's saying that actually, or they're saying that Miami is actually one of the hottest rental markets. And it's mainly not because of foreign investors or people coming internationally to Miami. It's actually because of people moving from states like New York,
Right.
California, New Jersey, and Texas. Funny enough, even though we're in Miami and we know that cost of living is pretty high, and it's been increasing throughout the years, it's actually more economic than these states. So in comparison to coastal states, Miami is actually relatively affordable to them. So a lot of them are moving to Miami, and actually that's why it's...
Well, you don't have the what do you call it? Income taxes, for example.
Which is definitely a plus.
Sorry.
Again, some of these states are
Property
also...
tax. Go ahead.
A lot of these states are also going through some sort of economic, maybe political shift
Yeah.
within. So
But yeah, I think somebody was mentioning to us something had happened in New York that a lot of people weren't proud of. I think it had to do something with that. There was
one of those politicians that were being elected.
Yeah.
That could cause some sort of controversy.
I think it's already started.
But I think
from what I heard.
this has been trending since the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think it's a snowball effect.
Yeah, because they wanted to see if change would come, and if it didn't, although I will say a lot of people just talk. A lot of people are all talk. They always say, "Oh, if this happens, I'm leaving," and then they never do. Because I mean, moving is not that easy.
And not
It's
necessarily.
costly too.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is leaving California. As an example,
New York, yeah.
we actually have someone, a client that was going to purchase. It's a foreign investor client of ours. He was going to purchase in Miami, and he actually decided to switch and invest in California. Funny enough, we gave him the pros and the cons, but ultimately he decided that California was the best fit for him. So again, not everybody is against California, New York, Texas, but the overwhelming majority is deciding to leave these states into other, and particularly the Sunshine State.
And you had mentioned the rental market. I want you to switch the screen right now so we could share with the audience what you. So I'm seeing here that right now more than 75% of renters are renewing their leases. And this is in Arizona. So these statistics are from the United States of America.
Yeah, and if you go up, it'll mention there that a lot of people, the cost of living in these coastal states are significantly higher than Miami. Ironically enough, because Miami is already expensive and slightly unaffordable as it is. I mean, didn't you rent something that looked like a shed?
Oh
What
yeah.
was the price of that?
Yeah, I rented I essentially rented like a it was a a utility shed that was converted into an efficiency. Don't ask me the legalities of it or anything like that because I don't know, but yeah, and I was able to rent it after like 60 days for $1,300 a month. The landlord actually got a good deal, first, last, and security.
Wow.
But that's the stuff that we're seeing now. To be honest with you, it, you mentioned that the rental market is hot.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, in the last 2 months, I've done probably the most rentals that I've done since I started working in real estate. But I'm also noticing a lot more signs on the streets. So, it's once again with real estate, it's so hard to like really pinpoint what.
I mean, because again, like it says in the article, in these other states, people are choosing to renew their leases, and I think the same applies here in Miami.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see the conditions of the market favorable to them, and so
Yeah.
they opt to rent instead of choosing to purchase. So I think that's really what we're seeing. Everything kind of has a domino effect.
Right.
Prices to some people are high. Interest rates are high to some people. And the reason why I say to some people, it's because we know that several years ago, interest rates were at 13, 15, 18%.
Yeah.
So,
But honestly, when you look at that, or when people mention that, one thing that they don't talk about is the property value relative to the income that people are making. Because, let's say it was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, interest rates were at 18%. But at the same time, the property value was, let's say, $60,000, and the income was, let's say, $20,000. Today, there's a bigger disconnect. Today, the average person, let's say, makes $50,000 a year, whereas the average home price in Miami, Florida, like for a single family home, is $500,000 to $600,000. There's a wide disconnect. Now, actually, since we're on the same topic, yesterday I ran across a post, and it was like an ad from like the 1940s or 50s, I don't know, and it said, for sale, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in New York City, $9,000. $9,000.
but back then, $9,000 was so much.
Yeah, but back then, the annual income for somebody, I think the average annual income was like $3,000 to $4,000 a year. So basically, the value of a home was only double what your income was.
And now,
That's crazy.
statistics say?
Now there's a wide disparity. Now there's a wide disparity, a big time disparity. Yeah, and I mean, back then, a person who worked at a factory or at or sold shoes, for example, or just shined shoes, he was able to not only support the family by himself or herself, he would buy a home, a car, and it was more than enough. Nowadays, and you've seen this yourself as well. I remember you visited a house with hoarders. They had 6 people living in the house just to afford to pay the monthly mortgage.
Yeah, I remember that. It's unfortunate the things that you see in Miami. Went to a listing presentation for an elderly man, had received one of our postcards, and he was interested in selling his home, but he was so in over his head in debts that he had, I'd say about 3 people living on his property, including someone living on an inflatable mattress in his living room. So we're talking that it was, to me, it looked like an unlivable house. Trashed, dirty. And again, we're talking about someone that was in their 80s. This was about 2 years ago.
But I think we're sounding a little like scary. And this is not something that's typical either. We're just using examples. The truth of the matter is, today more people have access to education. Not only through the standard way, which is through universities, but you also have online resources. Now you have artificial intelligence. You have so many things at your disposal, and compared to people back then, that if you really want to make a way to better your life, you have plenty of options. And, we live in a country where freedom is,
it's a land of opportunities.
Yeah,
I think that you just have to, And again, it's difficult. It's easy to say this, and sometimes it's difficult to actually put it into application or practice. But you have to ask yourself, where do you want to live? And try and take advantage of these opportunities to afford living in the place. Like if Miami is a place where you want to be because of family,
don't focus on the expenses.
Focus on how to make the money to afford your dream or afford where you want to go. I think that's really important. Again, cost of living is significantly higher than it has been before. And like Lewis is mentioning, a lot of disparity between income, cost of living. But I'm hoping that with education, it'll, a lot more professionals going to universities, getting titles, going to corporations, big companies, increasing their income, and hopefully we'll see that trending upwards.
Absolutely. And if not a house, at least buy a Bitcoin. Buy a Bitcoin. That'll secure your future for sure. So, what's next up on the list?
I think we talked about renters, we talked about foreign investors, we talked about stats. I think really to sum it up, conditions will always go up and down in the real estate market. You just have to be vigilant because opportunities will always present themselves.
Right.
But you should never be detained by the market. Why? Because the best opportunity, as we always say, is when the time is right for you. When you have the documents in place, when you have the finances in place to purchase. The market will always go up and down. You cannot depend on something that is out of your control. The only thing in your control is getting your finances in order and speaking to a professional.
Yeah, I'll always try to save. A lot of people think that they need 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% to buy a home. No, you need the minimum you need really is a 3%, but with FHA, 3.5%. So work those numbers. I had this conversation like a week ago with a lady. She was shocked when I told her, for a $500,000 home, the down payment that you would need here is $17,000. She was like, really? Yeah, no, that's the down payment. Then you also have your closing costs. So I gave her a rough estimate. You're going to need approximately $30,000 to $40,000 in total if you want to buy a home. And obviously, that's just the money portion of it. You got to do your taxes, make sure you declare the right amount, legally. And that's it. So in finance, in real estate, in just about anything, you have a way, you have a roadmap. And there are actionable steps that you could take today to ensure that you're able to achieve that American dream.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think this is a beautiful statement. God bless America.
God bless America.
All right. I think that's a very good overview of what's going on in Miami-Dade County. There's a lot more information headed your way. Please stay tuned for the next episode of The Real Talk Miami. We hope you like this episode. Follow us.
Stay tuned, guys. Yeah, follow us on The Real Talk Miami on Instagram. You could also subscribe to this channel, our YouTube channel, please. I want to get to 100 subscribers before the year ends, so hopefully we're able to achieve that. And, so just show some support. Like, comment, and subscribe.
And stay tuned. See you next time.